right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to do a daily Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update, but I also want to talk about the week, and I also want to talk about so far this year to date, because this has been an unbelievable ride so far this year in 2023 for the Bitcoin miners. And Bitcoin seems to be inching in the right direction. So I'm going to go through all of that. If you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could smash the like button, it helps the channel out a lot. Lastly, if you want to become a member, you can join the channel by hitting the join button on the YouTube page. It's right next to the subscribe button. If you don't see the button, there should be a link below. We've got a lot of members-only content already in there. We have a members-only live stream once a week, every Tuesday after the market closes. And the members pick a company in each live stream for me to do a deep dive members-only video on. So we also have a lot of fun on the live stream, so we'd love to have you join us. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin. I'm going to start with what happened today, but I definitely have some different charts and graphs to show you because this has been an incredible week and really week and a half for the Bitcoin miners. And it's about time. Okay, so if I look at today's big board, you're gonna see not a lot happened. Bitcoin was up about 0.4% from yesterday's market close. It was a little bit of an update. However, the Bitcoin miners have been on a rally that's unbelievable. We haven't seen this kind of action in a long time. This is like 2021 again. It's only been a short period of time, so, I'm not planning on this all year. But today was a little bit of a cool-off day. I think people also took some profits ahead of CPI data. That's the one thing that I want to stress. Tomorrow morning, before the market opens, CPI data comes out. So I'm not going to really do any technical analysis or any of that kind of stuff because CPI data has dictated what goes on in the stock market, in the cryptocurrencies, and obviously with Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. So depending on how that number comes out, we're expecting 6.5 tomorrow. It was 7.1 last month, so 6.5 is a pretty aggressive consensus, but that is what the market is expecting. So if we can get at or near that, or maybe even beat that, I think that we could continue this Bitcoin rally. And this Bitcoin rally has really only just begun. Once we take a look at the chart, you'll see we're very early into this. However, something like the CPI data could stop it in its tracks and turn it around. And, if we miss on CPI, that will spook the market and the market will go down. Okay, so if we look at the big board today, the biggest winner on the day was GREE, up 11.94%. Cypher had a green day, up 5.65%. You'll see there's a lot more red on here than there is green, even though it was a little bit of an up day. But I'm going to show you the last 2 days big boards because you're going to see the last 2 days have been so green that I just think there was a little profit taking today. Argo blockchain was down the most out of all the Bitcoin miners today. It was down 18%. Argo's had a tough run this week, but Argo was 36 or 38 cents just a month ago. So, it has had a massive, massive run up. So it's giving some of that back, but that also makes sense. Okay, so the two biggest market caps, RIOT and Marathon. RIOT was down 4.79%. and Marathon was down 6.61%. So that sounds disappointing. Those are pretty reasonably sized moves to the downside on a day where the market was green and Bitcoin was green. But again, I'm going to go right now. I'm going to look at yesterday's big board, and I think you're going to see what's going on here. Okay, so this was the big board yesterday. Now understand, Bitcoin was fairly stable yesterday. I believe it was up 1%. But off of that move, we had multiple double-digit moves. More than half of the companies on this list were double digits. Argo blockchain once again went to the downside 10+%, but again, they had such an enormous run up. They ran up almost 300 or 400% in the course of less than a month, so they are giving a little bit of that back right now. You'll see Any was up 16%. Tuesday, there were giant moves, but this wasn't even the big day this week. I want to go take a look at Monday because Monday was even bigger moves. So this was on top of Monday's day. Okay, Monday, you're going to see drastic moves here. So again, Bitcoin was only up a little bit on Monday. It's been very sideways and up. We're having a very slow and steady rally, but the Bitcoin miners, whereas in December, the Bitcoin miners were getting crushed as Bitcoin went sideways, the opposite is happening here in January. So this is kind of just offsetting the ground that we lost really in December, in my opinion. And I don't even think we've caught up yet. But on Monday, Bitfarms was up 23%. HUT was up about 17%. Hive, 16%. RIOT, 14%. Marathon, almost 20%. It was a day where Bitcoin was really hardly up at all. So this 3-day window, today was not the best of it. We gave a little bit back, but it's because the last 2 days were just absolutely incredible. Even counting today, if you average it all, this is the best 3 days we've had in the Bitcoin miners in probably 6 months, maybe more. So I am going to get to a chart later. I'm going to show you what these stocks have done year to date, because in my opinion, it's only January 11th. We've had 7 trading days. This is some staggering performance. In the meantime, let's look at Bitcoin itself, because right now Bitcoin has actually finally hit my next line. And when we zoom out a little bit, you're going to see it's been trending towards this for quite some time now. And we finally got to this line, $17,567. This is the red line that you see on the chart. That was the summer flash crash. That line of support held for 5 full months. It held until the FTX situation in November, and then we crashed below this line. So it's taken us all the way since November 8th and 9th. That's when the FTX situation happened. It's taken us all the way back just to get back to the summer flash crash. We're still nowhere near where we were before the FTX situation. So right now we seem to be in a battle. These are 15-minute candles, so it hasn't been very long, but we are finding a little bit of resistance here at this line. You're going to see this has been a very small rally so far, so I'm hoping that we do break through this line. And obviously CPI data tomorrow is going to be a big factor. If that number is bad, it could derail this rally that I think we're in the middle of. If that number is good, it could give this rally some nice legs to get, maybe back to where we were. Okay, so if I look at Bitcoin on the 1-day time frame, you'll see these 2 gigantic red candles. That was FTX. So you'll see prior to all that, you really can't see it on this chart, but this 21,478, that's where we were 4 days before the FTX situation. So somewhere around 21,500 is where Bitcoin was hanging out. The FTX rumors started, and then the situation collapsed, and we had an absolute breakdown in Bitcoin and all the cryptocurrencies, and Bitcoin basically crashed down to around 15,500 from, remember, 21,500. So that was a massive move. This red candle right here is November 9th. This is 1 candle. That's 2 full months worth of candles that are all engulfed by just this 1 day, which means we haven't even made back this 1 day of progress yet. And this was just one of 2 days. So my point being, there's still a lot of room left to the upside. Really, just to get back to 21,000 in my mind doesn't even represent a big rally. That's just back where we were before FTX crumbled. So there's a few points that are even short of that. That would be, in my opinion, considered a successful rally. Bitcoin was up about 7.5%. So that is a very small run. That's not even a relief rally. A relief rally is somewhere in the 20% is a small relief rally in the crypto world. 40%, 2 times last year we had 40+% relief rallies. So sitting here at 7%, we really haven't even just got going yet. But you can see the Bitcoin miners are off and running. And if that CPI comes in the right way, we really might get lucky. But I will say I am very worried. The expectation is very high for the CPI number. So I do think there's just as much of a chance that we'll miss that as hit it. So we're going to have to wait until tomorrow. Basically tomorrow at 8:30, you're going to see Bitcoin have a reaction in one way or the other. And right now, you can see, looking at the bigger picture, we have finally run into this line of resistance. I'm looking at this $19,000, and then this line here, just under 20,000. That was the high from the 2017 bull market. I think that's also an extremely realistic price target. So we would only have to go up about 13% more to get to that number, and it would be about another 22% to get back to where we were before the whole FTX fiasco. So, that's less than a 30% move. So somewhere in there is a 20 or 30% move that I think that opportunity still exists. But right now I want to show you what the Bitcoin miners have done since the beginning of this year. Okay, so here's my list. My number 1 pick was RIOT. RIOT is up 58%. That's this number right here. Percent change year to date. Now remember, it's January 11th. We have had 7 trading days in the year so far of 2023. RIOT is the biggest market cap out of all of these companies that we're following, all the Bitcoin miner companies that are publicly traded, and it's up 58% already on the year. So that is a monstrous move. You'll see Bitfarms I have in green. They're up 59% year to date. Again, year to date is 7 trading days. We're at January 11th. For 5 Marathon, they're up 57%. So Hive is up 60%. So those are all gigantic moves to the upside. And then we have Cypher is actually ahead of all of those. That's my number 7 pick. They're up 78% on the year already. I'm going to show you the rest of the stocks because actually the one that's gone up the most we haven't even looked at yet. I believe Cypher was the second most out of all the stocks. Okay, so here's the other half of these. The ones in blue that I was neutral on, and then the ones in red that I thought potentially may run into some trouble here sooner than later. BitDigital is up 65% year to date. DigiHost is up 64% year to date. But the thing is, DigiHost, as of December 31st, 2022, was a $10 million market cap company. So this is why I feel like there's going to be a massive amount of volatility this year. I think there's a lot of trading to be done this year. I'm not much of a trader. I like to buy and hold. But when you see the moves of 64, 65% in just 7 trading days, I think we have a lot more of this ahead of us. I think it's going to be some up, some down. You know, in 2021, it was just kind of up in a straight line for a long time. We had day after day after day that looked like these days. So we seem to be, at the moment, on a mini run that looks like that. Okay, then we got to go down to GREE. Greenage is up 126% year to date. So that is the leader out of all the Bitcoin miners. Drop something in the comments down below if you have any thoughts or if you know anything about GREE that maybe I'm missing. And then Mawson also was up 61%. So you can see 9 of these stocks are up 57% or more on the year. So that's why I wanted to get a video out to you guys today. We're having a monster run, and obviously tomorrow, the last thing I want to reiterate, tomorrow morning is CPI before the markets open in the US. So that really, most likely, usually that dictates the trading, at least for that day, if not several days after that. So hoping for a beat on that. So whether that's good news or bad news, I guess we'll find out. But either way, I do believe we will probably get a big move to the upside or the downside, depending on which way that goes. So that's all I got for you now on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. It's been a crazy year so far. Let's hope we can keep it going. And if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel and consider joining as a member. So thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.